Hello students, in today's lecture we will discuss about the topic force. What is a force? Force is one of the important physical quantities as many other quantities depend on it. The concept of force was introduced by Sir Isaac Newton in his 3 laws of motion, which you have studied in your previous classes. Force is that physical cause which changes or tends to change the state of rest or state of uniform motion of a body in a straight line. So what is force? Force is a physical cause which changes or tends to change the state of rest if any object is at rest. So you can, with the application of force, we can bring that object into motion, or if the object is at uniform motion, then by applying force we can bring that object into state of rest. In everyday life we use the word force: push, pull, stretch, squeeze. This denotes actually force. For example, to open a door we either push or pull. That is, to open a door we apply a certain amount of force which causes displacement of the door. Similarly, when we squeeze a wet cloth, we apply force on it, which changes the shape of the cloth, or a coolie pulls a trolley by applying a force. Thus, a force is a physical cause that changes or tends to change the state of rest or the state of motion of a body. So, push, pull, stretch, squeeze, every day we come across either push or pull or stretch or squeeze. Yes, so every day in our day-to-day life, every day, some other time we are applying force in either in the form of push or pull, or we are stretching something, or we are squeezing. Okay, for example, when you open a door, when you push something, when you open or when you move your book, or when you display some object, okay, whatever we do we have to apply force, right? Now force as a push. Now let us understand force as push. A body is said to be pushed if the direction of its motion is away from the source of force applied. When we push an object, we say that we have exerted a force on that object. For example, pushing a chair or a table to move it. Yes. Pushing a bus or a car which has developed some trouble. Flapping up wings by birds to push the air. So in all these cases we see that force is acted upon as a push. Okay. So a force is exerted by one object or person on another object or person to produce some changes. So whenever force is produced, it is always produced in pairs, right? For example, in the above example also we saw that a force is exerted by one object, yes, on another object. Okay. For example, when you are walking, right? When we walk, then we apply force. We have to come across frictional forces. So whatever the force we apply, right, in the opposite direction we move. So one object is applying action and another object is showing the reaction, which we have learned in the earlier classes. In class 9 you have learned about the action and reaction forces, which mean force always exists in pairs. Whenever forces are developed, they exist in pair. Okay. The following changes take place in a body when a force is applied: state of rest, state of motion, shape and size, and combination of all of these. Now let us understand them one by one. See, in this picture you can see a car at rest, a man pushing the car, that means applying force, okay, and produces change in the state of rest. Similarly, in picture B you can see a push changes the shape and size of an object, right? Force as a pull. A body is said to be pulled if the direction of its motion is toward the source of the applying force. So when we use this term pull mean we are dragging that object toward ourselves, right? When we pull an object, we say that we have exerted a force on that object. For example, pulling a door to open it, pulling a person away from the danger, fire, falling, etc. A number of carriages being pulled by a rail engine. You have seen the railway engine. It also pulls or drags the carriages. Pulling of a cart by a horse, a trolley being pulled by a coolie. So all these are the examples where you see force act as a pull, right? Force act as a pull. If we consider all the forces, their magnitudes, which mean their values, and the direction in the above mentioned example, we find the following. Forces exist in pair and in opposite direction to each other. So force always exists in pair, as I told, and in opposite direction to each other. The changes produced are large or small depending on whether the forces are large or small. So if you apply more force, then you will expect that more amount of changes will be there, and if your force is not so strong, then the change will be also not large. The change always take place in the direction of the resultant force. Okay, resultant force mean, my dear students, which mean if just now I told you that force always exerts in pair, right? So whatever the resultant force, now if you are applying an object, okay, say for example, I am showing you one example. Say this is my pen, okay, now I am applying the force in some direction, right? You can see that this force tends this pen to move in the forward direction. That means my resultant force is in the direction of the movement. Okay, so this is known as resultant force. Resultant force means in whichever the direction the force will be greater, okay, in that direction the object will also show movement or tend to show the movement or changes. Next, here you can see in the picture a man pulling a door, a horse pulling a cart. These are the examples in these pictures we can see. Force as a stretch. A body is said to be stretched if a force applied on it increases its length and the direction of its motion is in the direction of force. Okay, so stretch mean, for example, say we stretch a rubber band, then what happens when we apply force on to the rubber bands, and the rubber bands expands, right? So that is a stretch. That means increase in length in the direction of its motion, whichever direction we are pulling it, or in that direction only the stretch or the increase in length will be there. Example, stretching of a thin wire when a heavy load is suspended at its lower end. You can see a heavy load is suspended here in this picture. You can see a heavy load is suspended. Okay, so whichever direction the load will be there, okay, suspended, in that direction the movement will be also there, or that means the stretching will be in that direction in which direction the force is acting. Stretching of the string of a bow to release the arrow. Stretching of a spring when load is suspended from it. Just now I told you can see in the picture still, okay, that this is the normal spring, okay, without any load, and see when a load is being given, then you can see the elongation or the expanding, okay, due to the load or due to the weight of that object. Let me tell you one thing, students, that weight is also a type of force due to the gravitational attraction of the earth toward the center of the earth. So weight is also a type of force. Now in all these example we see that there is an elongation provided the stretching force is within the elastic limit. That is the magnitude, the value of the force applied should be such that it does not break the string or wire. Okay, now one thing we need to keep in our mind, that while stretching the force should not exceed its limit, that the spring get broken or the elastic rubber band is broken. Elastic mean what? That means See, after leaving the spring, it should come back to its initial state. So this property is known as elasticity. Okay, this property is known as elasticity. But if you stretch it too much, then what will happen? Either it will break or it will lose its elasticity. Yes. More the force applied, more is the increase in the length. Now, if the weight here is more, if you put greater weight or more weight, then the stretching will be also more. Okay. Next, force as a squeeze. A body is said to be squeezed if a force applied on it changes its shape. So squeezing means every day in the morning when you squeeze your toothpaste in order to toothpaste tube to take out the toothpaste. Yes, here in this picture also you can see an example of squeezing. So it is also a type of force or example of force. So squeezing of washed clothes before putting them on a clothes line. Squeezing of gum tube to take out the gum. So these are the examples of the squeezing where we apply force in terms of squeezing. On releasing the force, the object will tend to acquire its original shape. Again, this is known as restoring force. What is the restoring force? And this, you can also say that this is elasticity. That on releasing the force, if the object come back or acquire its original shape again, then we can say that the object is having elasticity. Okay, for example, when you stretch a rubber band and you leave it, on removing the force, what you see? You observe that the rubber band again gain its original shape. So this is a type of restoring force or restoring force, whatever you say. Okay, that again that object has a tendency to regain its initial state. More the force applied, more is the change in the shape. So if you apply more force, then you can expect more changes in the shape. Force as a compress. A body is said to be compressed if a force applied on it decreases its volume, dimension. So here you can see, okay, that compressing cotton in a hydraulic machine. About hydraulic machine or Brahma machine you have learned in class 9. Okay, you can see the cotton bales, they are being compressed. Okay, because it will be easy for the transportation purpose. Compressing a gas in a container. So all these things are the forces where we compress and apply the force. Okay, so compression can be also acted as or treated as a force. Now overall, what is the effect of a force? Force can change the dimension of a non-rigid body. Now when a force is applied on a non-rigid body, that is a body which is not free to move. Yes, so a body which is not free to move, you are applying force to it, what can you expect? That there will be shape and size of the body will changes. Yes, for example, if you take a silver seed and then you start hammering it, what can you expect? Yes, you will see that the silver seed changes its shape, right? Some object like dough, atta mixed with water to make chapatis or this I know that this you might have noticed when your mother prepare chapatis or you yourself prepare chapatis. For that you need to make that dough, okay, that atta mixed with water. Okay, so if there also you need to apply huge amount of force, right? Okay, so more amount of force you apply, the more it will change its shape, it will squeeze. A ball of mud or soil, plaster of Paris, etc., okay, change their shape and size very easily even when the little force is exerted on this object. When the force is removed, the object is not restored to its initial position. Now here, interestingly, if you remove the force, you will not see that the object is gaining its initial position. That means here they do not have that restoring force, right? There is virtually no restoring force within the body to bring it back to its original shape. But if it is in elastic, you will see that restoring forces will be always there. Okay. For a rigid body such as a thick sheet of iron or wood, we need a sufficiently large force to bring a change in its dimension. It is because the particles are strongly bound to each other in a rigid body. Now, you should remember that whenever you are handling with a rigid body, okay, the amount of force is to be most of the time to be more, large amount of force now, for example, if you are handling with an iron or wood, yes, then in that case you need to apply huge amount of force. So the force should be sufficiently large so that you can bring changes in it. Next, force can make an object move or can stop a moving object. So when a force is applied on a rigid body at rest, which is free to move, it starts moving in the direction of the force. Moreover, if a force is applied in the direction opposite to the motion of the body can be stopped. For example, when a player kicks a ball lying on the ground, it moves because a force is exerted on it by the player. Whereas a fielder stops a moving ball by applying a force with his hand. A ball rolling on the ground finally comes to rest due to the force of friction between the ball and the ground. So this is a practical example. Every day we see that force can stop an object, force can make an object move, both they can do. Okay, so you might have seen in the football while playing football, when a force is applied, okay, to the ball starts moving and gradually it rolls and then it stops. Now why it stops? Because due to the frictional forces. So which means that force can, at the same time, force is also producing motion into the body, and force is also responsible also to bring it to the rest. Okay. Next, force can change the speed or the directions of the motion of both. When a force is applied on a body in the direction of motion, the body starts moving faster. Yes, this happens when you accelerate continuously. Okay, or when you paddle continuously paddling, you see your speed of the cycle or the accelerated motion, you get an accelerated motion, right? Okay, so this which means that you are applying more amount of the forces. So when you apply more amount of force, the body starts moving faster. On the other hand, if the force is in the opposite direction, so what will happen if the force is in the opposite direction? Okay, now in whichever direction you are rolling, the frictional forces is opposing you. Okay, so what will happen? In that case, the speed will get reduced. But if the force is applied on a body, moving body at an angle other than 0 degree and 180 degree, it will change the direction of the moving body or both the speed and direction. For example, when a fast bowler or a bowler throwing the ball toward the batsman is applying force, and it changing both the speed and the directions of the ball, right? So for example, a bicycle running with some speed get increased when the cyclist pedal more vigorously. Just now I told you, a freely falling object continuously gains speed due to the pull of gravity. In various sports such as cricket, football, tennis, etc., the direction of motion and the speed of the ball can be changed by applying a force either in the direction of the motion or opposite to it. Now the direction of a stone tied at one end of the string whirling at a constant speed in the horizontal circle keeps on changing continuously. Okay, so the direction of the stone tied to one end of the string and you are rotating it, okay, continuously, okay, with a constant speed, but the direction changes continuously. So force can change the direction as well, and force can also change the speed as well. Okay, here you can see a person giving a push to the swing to oscillate it faster. Yes, so when this person continuously push frequently, then the speed or the oscillation also increases, right? From the above example, we observe that a force is needed to keep a body in motion, but in fact it is not so. As you have read in Newton's law of motion that no force is needed to keep an isolated body moving with constant velocity. Okay, actually the effect of force is to increase the velocity. So whenever you are applying the force, okay, why are we applying the force here? To increase the velocity of the body from 0 to a certain finite value, or to decrease the velocity to 0. Okay, as in frictional forces we can see, or change the direction of the moving body. Now what is the unit of force? Yes, now you know there are two types of units which we need to go through here. One is CGS system and another is the SI system. Okay, in CGS system we take the length in centimeter and mass in gram and time in second. So that is why it is known as CGS system. Okay. Now, first of all, what is the formula of force? Force is equal to mass into acceleration. You can see mass into acceleration, ma. Okay. Now, the CGS, in CGS system, the unit of mass is gram and acceleration is 1 centimeter per second square. Now, on putting it, we get a unit known as dyne. Okay. So, in CGS system, please remember this is important, frequently asked question. This is one of the frequently asked question in the board. Okay, so please, okay, note it that the CGS system, the unit of force is dyne. So what is one dyne? One dyne is that force which act on a body of mass 1 gram, whose mass is 1 gram, and produces an acceleration of 1 centimeter per second square. Okay, so one dyne is that much of force which is applied on 1 gram of mass and produces 1 centimeter square, 1 centimeter per second square of acceleration. In SI system, we take it as what? Newton. Now 1 Newton is equal to 1 kg. When a force of 1 Newton is applied in 1 kg mass, then it produces an acceleration of 1 meter per second square. Now let me tell you, kg is a SI unit of mass and meter per second is also the SI unit of acceleration. Excuse me. Now here the relationship which is very important. Now relationship between Newton and dyne. Now what is the formula? If you write the formula of force, okay, we can write formula of force is equal to mass into acceleration. Okay, now in SI unit, in SI system, if you write it in SI system, what is the value? 1 kg, 1 kg, okay, and this is 1 meter per second square, right? Okay, now 1 kg is equal to how many gram? 1000 gram. Okay, 1 meter, in 1 meter how many centimeter you get? Yes, tell me. 100. So we will write 100, yes, centimeter per second square. Now how many zeros you are getting? Tell me. 5 zeros. So we will write 10 to the power 5 centimeter, gram centimeter per second square, or you can write 10 to the power 5 dyne. Okay, so this is a very important relationship, students. Please practice. Okay, and one more thing, let me tell you, when you watch this video, please you should be watching this video with your book. Okay, you should sit with your book and then you should watch the video. Okay, if you don't understand any points, you can review this video and you can watch. Okay, so today I will teach you till here. Next day, in next lecture, I will start from the translational and rotational motion. Okay, thank you.